Hi everyone, so today we're going to continue a brief demo about Replit. Okay, so just a quick disclaimer that note that this is not a training, so we're going to focus more on the uh, Replit's basic functionalities and what Replit is for. So in case that I may add any additional information, feel free to explore it. Now, let's go to Perplexity first and find out what exactly Replit is for based on its definition. So, it says here that Replit is a cloud based browser accessible integrated development environment or IDE that enables users to write, run, and deploy code and applications directly from their web browsers. So, in a nutshell, you don't have to install anything like any software or any plugins just to run Replit itself. And then, so the next question is what type of technology Replit is. Um, Replit is a cloud based IDE and a collaborative development platform. Now, based on my experience on using Replit, it actually has an AI agent, so it's also considered as an AI powered platform as well. So, is Replit the only platform that uses these types of technologies? The question is no. So there are similar platforms like Google's Firebase Studio, Cursor, Lovable, Windsurf, which was recently released by or recently acquired by OpenAI, and so on and so forth. So, uh, basically, its technology stack support over 50 plus programming languages and leverage containers and virtual environments to provide instant isolated workspaces for each project. So, in a nutshell, you can actually build applications like web apps using AI without the expertise or a deep knowledge when it comes to coding. So, how will you be able to do that? So, using natural language processing through prompt instructions. So, you're going to use human text or human language instead of codes. However, the advantage of having Replit is also great for developers because it also allows developers to edit source codes manually. So, going back to Perplexity, so some of its use cases are like rapid prototyping. For example, if you're planning to build, like, for example, an AI chatbot tailor fit for education, you may do so. For let's say for testing purposes, you can also build custom business tools depending on your use case or on your workflow. And for freelancers or startups who has limited resources, so could not afford to buy any SaaS products, so they have the option to build their own internal tool to help them optimize their operations and processes or even their workflows at the same time. So you can actually search, or if you wanted to dig deeper more into Replit, so you can use these AI chatbots, whether you're going to use Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, or even Claude. Okay, but going back to Replit, so let's just first explore just a refresher its basic functionality. So you can click this app. So what you can see here is the applications that you have deployed. So if you see it blank, which means that you haven't done any applications or you haven't deployed any applications yet. Okay. Similarly with deployments, so when you click deployments, you can see those applications that you have already shipped or you have already sent for production. So in applications, for example, you can also see those applications either you have deployed or the applications that you haven't run it yet. You can also see the usage, for example, the billing overview, because Replit has a subscription. It's actually a subscription based model. So you can also go to Replit subscription, so we can find out how much it costs. So if you go to Replit, so you can use it for free, but please note that you can only use limited features. Like, for example, you can deploy up to 10 development apps. Let's say, for example, you just wanted to explore Replit for your own personal projects. You just wanted to learn how to use it. And then it says here you can only use public apps only. Now, uh, for subscription-based models, so you have the option to either switch to monthly or yearly. Please note that if you're going to switch yearly, so you can save more. Let's say it says here save $60, but please note that if you're going to use this, let's say for example you wanted to choose Replit course, so it's going to be $20 times 12. So that's what you're going to pay. But then again, you've already saved $60 from it. Okay, so you can also, if you just a little bit conservative, in the meantime, it's okay for you to do a monthly base subscription. You can just choose monthly. So you can, let's say for example, you can choose Replit. It will show you what are the features that you can maximize. Now it says here that Replit is powered by. It says here you can access Claude Sonnet 4, which is one of Claude's latest AI models, and OpenAI's GPT-4o. You can also use Teams. It says here $40 per user per month. So you basically have to pay it per seat. Now you can see all of these features and also the benefits. Same goes with enterprise. So if you wanted to opt into enterprise, you can actually contact Replit's enterprise so that they can tailor fit your organization needs. Now going back to Replit, so again you can see your monthly credits, the usage, like the payment method, and then you can also see the usage of the agent and then the assistant, and then the applications, collaborators, and then those data or those information you can also collapse this, but we're not going to go deeper into this one. And then you can also add teams. So let's say for example you wanted to add a team on your workspace, so you have the option. So you can click get started with Replit teams. And then also for bounty, so you can actually work with top Replit creators to bring your ideas into life. So since Replit is a dynamic and flexible ID cloud-based ID platform, so a lot of users were able to explore a lot of use cases in building their own applications using AI. Okay, so you can actually explore these. You can see the user who actually built this solution. You can also choose with templates. Let's say, for example, you wanted to, let's say, build a specific application, but you're not sure if you can do it from scratch, so you can explore these templates. So these templates can also serve as guide. Let's say, for example, Cloudflare Worker. Okay, so you can choose a remix template, you can copy, you can share on X, share on LinkedIn. Okay, so going back, you also have the option to take advantage of their tutorials. Okay, so you can see their YouTube videos, but please note that some of these YouTube videos might not be updated because there's been a lot of enhancements happen to these platforms for the past 8 to 12 months. So I would highly encourage you to explore the platform itself. Okay, so you can also view Replit's technical documentation. So for example, if you're a developer and you wanted to dig deeper into Replit, then you can access these documentations. Okay, so let's go back to the demo. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I did. So let me just switch my video. Okay, so as you can see, you can view your most recent applications at the bottom. So if you're going to observe these standalone AI chatbots, let's say for example, Perplexity, Gemini, this is actually owned by Google, OpenAI's ChatGPT. It's similar to Replit. So what you're going to do is you're going to type in your commands here or your prompts. You have the option to upload your documents. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, before I build the application using this platform, I'm going to show you some of the documents that I did. Now, the reason for that is since I've mentioned earlier that you can build applications using AI, using natural language processing. through human text instead of code. So I'm going to show you the prompt that I've used. So on a separate video or earlier, I initially built this application, same platform, which is Replit. So this is the first example. So I built an AI chatbot specifically for cooking Filipino food. This time we're going to show you or demo a much more complex application. Now, just a quick disclaimer now, the more that you are building a more comprehensive platform, the more complex it becomes. So, the more hiccups that you may encounter. What does this mean? For example, you might encounter, let's say, more bugs or potentially inefficiencies because the AI model itself is learning on what you're commanding with it. Okay, so let me just quickly or briefly show you this prompt that I've used to build this documentation. Okay, so what I did is I've used both the RTF and the create framework. Okay, so I did not use the chain of thought framework, so it depends on you which of these frameworks works for you. Okay, now as you notice, so this prompt instruction is kind of like very long and a bit more comprehensive. Okay, so we're not going to go deeper into this prompt, but I used this prompt to build this technical documentation. So as you noticed, I've used Gemini 2.5 Pro to get this technical documentation. So this technical documentation shows like what framework should I use when it comes to building this AI agent web application. It will say like the file format, and then it will show you the front end and back end features, like for example the code snippets that you need to deploy. So there are tons of it. So if you're not a developer, so I'm afraid that these are quite complex jargons for some of us, okay? But we're not going to go through with these documents because I'm going to show you something how I can build the said AI agent using this document. Again, just a disclaimer that during this demo, we might encounter hiccups or bugs. Now, because in reality or in a real world, when you're trying to build an application, you cannot build it perfectly or you cannot build it right away because I don't think there's such thing as you can build it perfect the first time. It may happen, yes, but for most cases, especially for more complex and nuanced applications, most of the time you would encounter some hiccups. It's up to you how you can learn how to troubleshoot or fix these hiccups and maximize resources, especially AI platforms. So, sorry. So going to Replit, so I'm going to ask Replit to build an AI agent and use the attached guide, and in addition ensure that the platform has its basic key functional use case. So if we go back to the document itself, so these are the 5 basic use case that I'm referring to. So the first one is I wanted to build an AI agent where it can analyze data and obtain insightful and create value. Second is it can help me generate or create reports. Next is it can also analyze, read multiple pages of reports and getting the summary of it. Let's say for example, you're a paralegal expert and you wanted to summarize, let's say, a 50 page of a case or docket from the Supreme Court. So All you have to do is to build an AI agent where it allows you to summarize the context of that whole document, similar to what Notebook LM does. Okay, so we're not going to go to Notebook LM. I'm just showing you as an example use case. And then going back to the document is like I wanted an AI agent where it can help me prepare presentations. Let's say for example, so you can create like a prompt instruction where you're uploading, let's say for example, a specific topic, and you wanted to create a presentation deck where you could just copy and paste it on your PowerPoint presentation or Google Slides. And then another use case is where it can help you in terms of stakeholder communication. Let's say, for example, you have received an email or a Slack message from your stakeholder. So, let's say you're conscious about your spelling and grammar. So, um, you you wanted to build an AI agent where it can help you like draft an email for you where it can already help you identify and correct any necessary grammatical errors or help you structure a certain context. Okay, so I can actually just copy and paste it here and then ensure that this is user friendly and well structured. So I can add a negative prompt, avoid over complicating. The web app. So let's be specific. So I wanted to build an AI agent web app. So at least the machine or the platform understands what you're trying to ask them to build. Next is if you see this um, option, it will allow you to attach files. So what we're going to do, just going to maybe just put it version 2. So just going to download this as a Microsoft Word. I would suggest upload documents as a Microsoft Word. Sometimes PDF doesn't work. The last time I tried it, it's rejecting a PDF. I'm not exactly sure if this time it works, but the last time I tried to use a PDF file, the file format gets rejected. So if you click this app type, so you have the option, you can use auto agent will choose for you modern web app made with React and Node.js, interactive data app made with Streamlit and Python. And then you can also choose if you wanted to build like a 3D game, let's say 3JS games and simulations, web app using Python. So in the meantime, I'm going to use auto because I already have the technical documentation. So the technical documentation should be able to tell the machine what it needs to be built. Okay, so I'm going to upload this. Then again, just a disclaimer that I'm not showing this to you how to perfectly build an AI application because during the time that you're trying to build something, hiccups always happen, or like you would definitely encounter bugs in the long run. But what's important is how you were able to identify the problem and how you are able to learn to fix it. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is start building. So if you notice these three, so you might be wondering what are these three options. So these are like samples or suggested applications that you can build. Let's say, for example, if you wanted to build a local landmark map as an example, you can just click this. So basically, it's just like suggestions that you can choose. But anyway, let's just start building. Okay, so just we'll just have to extend our patience here because since the application we're trying to build is more a bit complex, so it could take some time and resources as well. Also, please note that if you're building something, please expect that if you're actually adding a certain feature, please take note that there might be some integrations required. So what does this mean? Okay, so the AI agent would ask for certain API keys. So you need to make sure that you have those API keys ready. If you think that that specific feature, let's say for example, you don't have any API keys for that specific feature, that's fine. You can just ask the AI agent that, can you please remove this specific feature for now because I don't have an API key. I can add it anytime, that's fine. Okay, so as we can see, Replit is telling us that it's already done with the initial planning, as you can see on the green check mark. The next, it's still working on plan approval, visual preview, and interactive prototype. So right now, what we can see is it's asking us if we would like to add these additional features. So what we're just going to do is, if we want to add these additional features, we can just tick these boxes. Let's say, for example, it's asking us if we wanted to add an advanced data visualization and with interactive charts and graphs, real-time collaboration features for report editing, template library for common report types and presentations, integrations with additional cloud storage providers, let's say OneDrive, Google Drive. In the meantime, we're not going to add these because like integrating OneDrive, Dropbox, or even Google Drive would also require a certain API integrations as well. Okay, so for now, I'm going to add these first three options because it's saying here that we can also make these changes later. So what happened with these is these are suggestions generated by the AI itself. So I'm going to approve 3 plans for this. Okay, what we can see, the screen got divided into a left panel and the right panel. So on the left hand corner, this is the Replit agent. On the right hand corner, as we see right now, this is the actual preview of the application. Okay, so you can see it's saying here considering options. It's already adding the necessary features based on the documentation that we have made, which is this long one. So what's happening right now is the Replit agent is also utilizing the necessary code snippets that is listed here. Actually, I'm just showing you the wrong document. This is the actual one. But anyway, these are similar principles, just similar to the initial app that I also built earlier, which is the Luto AI. Okay, so saying here determining the next step. So going back, it has already added the feature where you can upload files. Okay, so it's showing us a preview here what the AI assistant will look like. Okay, so there's another request we can do. Can you ensure that the AI assistant can also help in terms of optimizing and improving grammatical errors? Example, email and Slack message replies, whether it is for a customer, a vendor, or a stakeholder. Okay, so we can actually still add these requests while the AI agent is working on it. So this is the Replit agent. So while we're waiting for this, so we can also explore some of the panels that we're seeing right now. So you can click preview. You can also click console. So what it's saying here that you can view the terminal output after running the code. So this is what it looks like. So you can also switch in between the console or the preview. Next is you can click this. This is the database. So it says here it's fully managed user-based post GRESQL. So it says here that the database with 10 gigabyte of fast read and write storage. So you can click this if you wanted to actually view this section, and then you can also click deployments. So deployments is, let's say if the AI agent already built the platform that you see on the preview, and let's say for example you're already satisfied with what the AI agent has built for you, so you have the option to already set it for deployment, ship it, or deploy it for production where you can use it. Okay, so um, what you can see here is the deployment option. So you can see here that you can deploy the applications either through reserve VM, auto scale, static pages, or even schedule. Okay, so usually it recommends auto scale as the best choice for most applications. And then you can also see this section where it says your compute units are built at 0.0000 something yada yada per compute unit. So it's just saying here like how much does it cost when it gets built, or how much is the compute unit costs. And then you can also click all tools. You can see integrations, deployment, auth, database, object storage, Replit key value store. So you can also collaborate, like you can click the chat. Let's say it's like Chat GPT or Gemini. And then you can also click threads and go back to the agent, which is this icon. So what we're going to do is we'll just go back to preview. So these ones that you've opened most of them will actually show here. So you can just switch in between tabs. Okay, as you can see, it's showing us a preview here. So what the application will look like. So it says here, hi, I'm your AI assistant. Can you help analyze data, create reports, summarize documents, more? Upload a file or ask me anything to get started. So can you analyze the trends in my sales data? So what happens here is you can actually upload a file, let's say for example a CSV file, and the AI agent will analyze the data for you. Okay, so let's go back to Replit. So what's happening right now? Okay, as we can see, it says you're installing Multer, CSV parser, XLS, Mammoth, React, Drop Zone. And then if you notice, it became white, so it's refreshing because it's adding any additional features. Okay, let's say for example I did not ask to add the Dropbox or OneDrive, so I'm going to ask the Replit agent or the AI agent remove the Google Drive feature for now, as I don't have the necessary API keys yet. I will add these features later. So if you notice, I captured a screenshot and then uploaded it and then send it to the Replit agent. Okay, so what happened? It says here 19 actions. So it says here, you can see the log here, and then you can also see the preview. And then it says here, I'll fix the LSP errors and remove the Google Drive feature for now. Let me update the storage. Okay, if you expand this, you can see the logs here, the codes. So if you're a developer or software engineers, the good thing about Replit is it will allow you to edit these logs. Okay, so you can actually explore some of these features. But of course, our main goal here is for us to be able to build applications using no code to low code. Especially for some of us who are not trained to code applications. So this tool is actually super helpful for us. Now, so you can collapse these. So just going back what I mentioned earlier, so we're actually doing this demo is for us to be able to explore at least the basic features and functionality of Replit, what it does, how it can actually help us in terms of building application and some example use cases. But of course, since this is a demo, so we're not going to deep dive into the more technical um, functionalities, especially some of us does not code. Okay, so as we can see here, if you see this section, Replit is still working on building this application or enhancing this application as well. So as you can see, it's even showing us the preview of what the application will look like. Okay, if you notice, I requested um, the Replit agent to remove the Google Drive feature, so it's no longer showing here. So what I can do is I can upload CSVs using those using this file upload feature. But remember that it's still working on finishing the application. So as you can see, you can actually check the progress here by collapsing this button. So you can see the codes, the snippets. Okay, and then it's also showing us that it took a screenshot as a preview. And then it says here, refocus sidebar, add new communication assistant. You can also try to click this. And then you can also, so when you click this, it's showing us a preview. Okay, so it says here, now I need to update the chat interface to include quick options for new communication features and also enhance the existing quick actions in the chat sidebar to include grammar optimization. Okay, so what does this mean? So if you notice this page refresh, so we can already see quick actions or any suggested actions that we can actually use or can become useful. Let's say, for example, you can just click analyze upload data for trends. Let's say you already uploaded your file, you can just click this if you're like a little bit lazy to type a prompt instruction. And then next is generate executive summary. Let's say create presentation outline. But you have to make sure you do provide context or relevant information so that the AI agent can help you create presentations. Next is like improve email grammar, tone, and then draft stakeholder communication. Okay, so it's saying there that I've successfully enhanced the AI platform with comprehensive communication assistant features. So you will see what the AI agent did. Okay, now here's the problem. Okay, so if you're a first time user on Replit, you might seem to think that, hey, Replit already built me a perfect application, but unfortunately it's not. Why? Okay, so first thing that I was able to spot on is, since I'm building an AI agent, so I need to use either an open source or proprietary LLM. So what does this mean? So I need to add an API key for me to be able to utilize the generative AI features of this AI agent. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, hey, you forgot to ask me for an API key for either an open source or a foundation AI model. Example, let's say GPT 4.0 Cloud for Sonnet, Gemini 2.5, let's say Flash. or let's say Llama 3, Llama 3B, or let's say DeepSeek R1. Okay, and then I prefer using DeepSeek's API. Okay, just a disclaimer. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes it does not happen. Okay, so you just have to be mindful and also be more intuitive if you think that something is lacking or there are some things that you need to add. Okay, now says here to power the API feature in your platform data analysis report generation communications. I need your DeepSeek's API key, which means that it's already asking for an API key. So what's next? Let's go to DeepSeek. Okay, so I'm not going to demo this, but I'm just going to briefly show you the DeepSeek's API platform. So similar with OpenAI. So this one, DeepSeek also has this API features. Let's say if you wanted to, let's say use an AI model which costs less. So DeepSeek's API is an alternative. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a new API key. So it's up to you whether you wanted to use an existing API key or not. But just a quick disclaimer, you need to make sure to keep your API key safe because it's tied to a billing, which means that every time you use this API key, you'll get billed or you'll get charged. Okay? So depending whether you're using a subscription model or you're using this in a way that it's like a pay as you go framework. So which means that you only use it when you only pay it each time you use it. Okay, so going back to DeepSeek's API key, so I'm going to generate a new API key. So again, a disclaimer, make sure do not show your API key. If in case you see my API key on the screen right now, I might delete it later, okay? So I already put a name here so it's easier for me to distinguish which project did I use this specific API key for. So let's create the API key and then click copy, and then let's just close this, and then let's go to DeepSeek. So as you can see, it's redacted, which means you won't be seeing the actual API key here, and let's click continue. It says here, would you like to save this secret? Okay, so I already added it. So once you provide the API key, all the AI features in your platform will be fully functional, including new communication helper for grammar optimization, professional email drafting. So what it's showing is perfect. Your AI platform is now fully powered with DeepSeek and ready to go. Okay, so what's the next thing that we're going to do? So we can actually deploy this, and then if you wanted to make any changes, we can just ask the Replit agent to make the necessary changes and then redeploy it. So how do we do that? So if you see this button, you can see deploy. Okay, so going back, Replit will ask us to choose how we can deploy this application, whether reserve VM, auto scale, static pages, or schedule. Now, since I would like auto scale, since this is the best or recommended option, so I would probably opt to auto scale. I saw another feature. It says here we've updated deployment pricing, so see what's new. So you have the option to visit this website for deployment pricing. Okay, so please note that these their terms may subject to change without prior notice. So if you have questions, make sure to contact support@replit.com. Okay, so as we can see, it's already giving us example scenarios. Let's say scenario 1, you have a weekend project, minimal usage, 100,000 compute units, 1,000 requests. So you might be wondering what the heck are these? Why are we see these figures? Now, Please note that these AI platforms are using resources. So since resources are limited, so that's why they have these kinds of compute units, so that in a way that they are able to build their clients. Okay, so let's continue. So I'm going to set up your deployment. So after clicking this, you will see this auto scale machine configuration. So you can see like the capacity. Like it says here that you're going to use 72 compute units for this specific application, and then 8 gigabytes of RAM, like 16 compute units. Then total per machine, 88 compute units per second. So it says your max number of machines. The most machines that you should ever spin up to handle your highest traffic. More machine means a faster experience for your users. So it says here 264 compute units, but please note that every time you adjust this, so basically it actually gets deducted into whatever resources you're using right now, which is your whatever you have paid or what you have billed on Replit. So in the meantime, I'm just going to choose 3 machines for demo purposes. So I'm going to just click approve and continue build settings. Now you have the option to edit this URL. So it says here you cannot start or end with a hyphen, so I'll just remove this. So I would just prefer AI Insights Hub Replit. And then you can see the build command, run command, and you can see the deployment secret. So if you wanted to actually see this code, you can just click this I. If you wanted to add a deployment secret, you can just click this. And then there's an interesting feature here, like you can run scan. What it does is before deploying an application, you can run the security scan, which is powered by Replit's third-party partner, which is SemGrep, to identify potential vulnerabilities. So right now, I'm doing a security scan. So if you notice, I click this and this left-hand corner shows up. You can also click this. It will confirm whether it sees any vulnerabilities or not. Like for example, it's saying here that there are no vulnerabilities found. So it will show the log, the time, and the date where it run the security scan. Okay, so the next thing is we're just going to click deploy. So as we can see, it's showing us 4 steps. Okay, it says here like the step 1, it's working on the provision. We can see the logs. On the overview, you can also click this logs here. If you wanted to explore this, and then you can click analytics, you can click the settings. Let me just charge this laptop. Okay. And then it says here you must successfully deploy your project before linking a domain. So it means you have the option to link a specific domain for your project. Now, going back to overview, we can see that it's already showing us the provision, the build, the bundle, and the promotion. Okay, so it's working on step 4. Okay, so when you see this green button, which means that you have successfully deployed the application, and then you can see this QR code here. You can scan it, test it on your phone, and then you can see to type the resources that it consumes or the usage, and then you can see the domain itself, and then you can click this so you can test the application. So let's proceed with testing the application. So as you can see, you can already see the URL. Then you can see the dashboard, data analysis, like analyze trends, generate reports, like summary documentations, presentations, communications like grammar and optimizer, like email for colleagues, like message, memo, colleagues, customer, vendor, stakeholders, like friendly, formal, casual, urgent. So depending on the tone. Okay, so it says here quick examples: grammar optimization, perfect for email replies, yada yada yada. Then you can ask the AI assistant, which is your main AI agent. Okay, so what's next? So our goal now is to actually test the data analysis. So we're going to, let's say, I am like, I work on customer success operations, just an example. So this is an example fake data. So whatever you see on this data sheet, those are fake data, which I just made using AI. Let's say, for example, I am an HR people operations manager, and I wanted to analyze employee attrition or resignation. So I'm just going to just download this um, application. I'm sorry, I mean the spreadsheet through CSV, which came from Google Sheets, and then I'm just going to upload the file. Okay, so let's click this so we can test this. That's weird. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, so this one works. If you notice, this upload file does not work, so I'll deal with this later. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to upload this sample fake data. Okay, it says here upload failed. So that's weird. So let's try to upload this again. Maybe it's I just didn't upload it right. Okay, so it's showing error. So what I'm going to do? Okay, so let's just repeat this again so I can show you what happened. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to capture a screenshot. I'm going back to the Replit agent and then show this. Okay, so I'm also going to take a screenshot on this image. So I tried to upload the CSV file, but it's showing an error. Also, when I click the upload button, nothing shows up. Can you fix this? Okay, so what I'm showing you right now, these are actual real world scenarios that you might encounter, especially when you're trying to build or deploy something. So as I mentioned earlier, for me, there's no such thing as perfect deployment. There will be times that you would always handle hiccups. What's important is you have already start building it, testing it, deploying it, and improving or optimizing it instead of doing nothing. Okay? So it says here I can see that the upload is failing, so no file uploaded, so error. So let me check the file upload functionality and fix the issue. So before I do that, let me just go ahead and like show an example um, here. So we're going to test the feature. Let's say, for example, I received an email from Manage Engine. So let's go back to the let's say communication. Okay, so let's test. Can you respond to this email that at the moment we are not yet ready for their solution? Okay, so again, going back, whether you can choose whether email, Slack, memo, report, whether it's for a recipient, colleague, or a vendor, whether friendly, formal, casual, urgent. So let's try to choose friendly and then let's say optimize text. And let's see what happens. Okay, so it says it's optimizing, but I think I made a mistake here. So since it's showing your grammar and style, so let's just copy this example email. Say customer, let's say professional. And then let's click optimize text. Okay, as you can see, at the bottom, it says here, thank you for reaching introducing to us, Manage. We appreciate the detailed overview how simplify managed reporting automations features highlight. At this time, however, we're not yet ready for the position to adopt a new. Remember earlier, I actually asked this initial question, can you respond to this email, right? Okay, this is the actual result. Okay, so going back, this is the actual email response from the vendor. This is the actual text that, or the actual instructions that I requested. That at the moment we are not yet ready for their solutions, and this is the response. And then all you have to do is, whether you want it or not, you can just click copy and then paste it on your email. So for me, it's working as expected. Then let's go back to Replit. So let's see what happens. It says you're great. I fixed the upload file. Now, what happens? So what we just need to do is to just redeploy it. I'll just close this one and then click redeploy. So why do we need this? We need to make sure that the changes we have requested gets applied to the new version. So that's why we need to click redeploy. Okay, it's saying here provision, build, bundle. So it's going back from step 1 up to step 4. Let's cross our fingers. Hopefully this works this time. But anyway, whether it works or not, so the purpose of this demo is for us to show you Replit's basic functionalities, especially what happens in a real world scenario when you're trying to build a more complex application. Okay, so let's wait here. It says here, the initial deployment I've made was 10 minutes ago. As you notice in the timer, we're more than 50 minutes here on the demo, so the deployment only took 10 minutes. Okay, so you can see that it had managed to redeploy the application, so let's just click this icon again. So again, if you wanted to go to the actual deployed application, just click this one. Okay, so let's go back. So let's try to click this again. Hopefully this works. Okay, so it's saying that it's still getting the same error. So let's screenshot. Okay, so what's the next thing we're going to do? Like, I'm still seeing the same error. Can you fix and debug this, as you are a senior software engineer or senior developer? So what we're trying to ask the AI agent is, we're giving it a persona to act as a senior software engineer or senior developer, as they try to troubleshoot or debug the error. Okay, so let's just wait. And then while waiting, we can also test this. Hi, I'm your AI assistant. Can you help analyze the data? Here, and then we can test this. Okay, earlier, if you noticed, when we click this one, it's not working, nothing happens, but this time it's already working. But let's see if this works. Okay, same error as well. So we're going to also include this one as well. So in addition, same error happens when I click this upload the upload file button. Can you debug and fix this, as you are a software engineer, or just to make sure, senior? Okay, so it's saying absolutely, let's debug this systematically. The issue that you're clicking upload file button triggers a file selection. The file isn't being processed correctly. Let me trace through entire flow. So you can actually expand this. You can see these logs. It says here, let me debug this step. Okay, so it says here, you can see the logs here, the code snippets. And what's happening right now is the Replit agent, or the AI agent, is telling you what it's trying to do. It says here that I need to add more detailed error handling and check if there's an issue with the motor configuration. So let me add better logging and see what exactly happens. So if you're kind of curious, you can probably ask Gemini, what does this mean? Okay, so it's giving us a breakdown, add more detailed error handling. We say wanted to improve how their code responds when something goes wrong. Instead of the program crashing or giving a vague error, it should provide more specific information about the problem, ideally handle it gracefully. So let's go back to Replit. Okay, so it says here, I've added comprehensive debugging to trace the file upload issue. Now I can see exactly what's happening when you try to upload it. So it says here, added details logging to both client and server sides, enhance error handling for the upload process, improve the header upload button for event handling. So the next thing we're going to do is we'll click and redeploy it. So let's just close this for now. And let's cross our finger that it works this time. But again, as I've mentioned multiple times, so these hiccups will happen as you continue to build something, especially the more complex applications. What's important is you identify the actual problem. You already understand and know what tools that you can use to help solve these problems, and then deploy the necessary fixes. But the good thing is, since we're using these tools like Replit, so we already have a Replit agent that can help us fix these problems as early as possible. Okay, so let's just wait for the step 4 to finish, and then we're going to test this again. And then let's cross our fingers, hopefully this works. And then while waiting, so let's choose, let's try to find another spam email. Okay, so we can choose this. So I'm going to show you the example scenario or use case I've shown you earlier in terms of vendor, stakeholder, customer communication use case. So let's just go back to the application. Okay, so it's still waiting. So it says here, so working on step 4. Okay, so it's not yet finished, so let's just wait. Okay, so let's just taking a bit longer. Okay, so it's done. So let's go ahead and click this again. But before I test these features, let's just go back to the communication part, just to test it again for some of us. So you can optimize text, create a draft. So it says here purpose topic. Let's say candidate rejection. Add an addition, inform the candidate that we've moved forward to another candidate closely with our requirements, and they can reapply after 60 days. So this is just an example. Okay, so let's click create. Okay, it says here quick examples: grammar optimization, draft creation. Okay, so it already drafted us an email. Thank you for taking the time to interview for us, yada yada yada. So please note that you can just copy and paste it and edit these options. Next is, let's try this again. Respond to this email that we are not yet ready for their service. So let's just choose vendor and then make it professional. Then click optimize text. Okay, it says here text optimized successfully. So it says here, dear Oliver, thank you for reaching out to sharing insights AI agent straight offering. We appreciate invitation, yada yada yada. At this time, however, we're not yet ready to explore AI agent integrations or related features. We'll keep your information on file, reach out to you if our needs align with your future. Okay, so let's go back to uploading the file. Hopefully this works. Okay, it's working right now. So it says your file uploaded successfully, sample fake HR. So, okay, so it says here, these are quick actions. So you can either choose this, let's say analyze uploaded data file, and then hit submit. So then let's see what happens. Because we've already fixed the issue about the upload error. So the next thing we're going to do is let's wait for the AI agent to analyze the data. Okay, so it says here, to provide meaningful analysis trends pattern, you would need to access the uploaded data set since I don't have the actual data here. Okay. Pattern. So, okay, so we're done with this. So, what's the problem here? So, let's try to find out. So, we've already fixed the issue in terms of the error when we try to upload a file. Okay, so let's try to upload this. Most likely it's because it will work because this file upload section might be different from this one. Okay, so let's try to click and analyze actions. Okay, so let's wait, and then while waiting, so let's try to analyze key trends. Let's see if this is clickable. Fortunately, it's not clickable. Okay, so it's just, yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, so let's test some of these buttons. Okay, so here's the problem right now. So the issue with the error is fixed, or it's been resolved. Now, what's the next issue? The next issue is it's not analyzing the data that we have uploaded. So what's the next thing? Okay, so let's tell Replit that, hey, the error when uploading the file has been fixed. But when I click the analyze or ask the AI chatbot to analyze the attached data or CSV, it doesn't analyze it. Can you fix this as you are a senior software engineer? Okay, so again, those are some of the examples that you might encounter, but then again, the purpose of this demo is not for us to show you how to build a complex working applications, but just to show you a demo, a real world scenario. What are the things that you might encounter when you're trying to build something using an AI? Again, as I always remind that some of these hiccups will appear. What's important is you understand what the problem is. You already know what the tools that you're going to use, and then how the next is how you are able to approach and how to resolve these errors. Okay, so the Replit agent is giving us the context which actually um, we can actually collapse this. So it says here, I see the issue. The chat interface isn't connecting to the upload file properly, and the quick action buttons aren't triggering file analysis. So let me fix the chat system. So what it's trying to tell us is it has identified the problem. It's telling us what the actual problem is, and it's trying to tell us what they need to fix. So it says here, perfect. I can see that the files are now loading. File ID 2 is showing in the logs. So which means it can see the actual files that we've uploaded. Now let me fix the quick action buttons to actually trigger file analysis. Okay, it says here I need to create the quick action bar component. Let me fix this error and create this. So let's just wait and see what happens. While waiting for this, so let's try to see and explore some of its features. Okay, so what's another thing? So we've seen another problem. So we can also tell the AI agent that, hey, I've also identified another issue. These buttons doesn't work, and each time I click it, nothing happens. It's just showing blank. Now you can see the approach. What I'm trying to do right now, it's like you're trying to talk to a real person, but this time you're working on an AI agent. Okay, it's saying yes, you're absolutely right. I can see that the sidebar navigation button, report creation, document summary, presentations are not working. So let me fix both issues at once, and the analysis functionality and the navigation button. Okay, so remember that these applications are not perfect, but the good thing is it gets improved over time. So just like what we're trying to do right now. So earlier, we've already seen the progress. It was able to fix the issue with the error, and it successfully let us upload the CSV file. So the next thing that we're trying to fix is the error. So these are some of the things that are happening from the back end within an enterprise organization when they're trying to let's say plan, strategize, build, deploy an application. Let's say for example, you wanted to do a test or a sandbox environment. So as we see right now, the preview button, it's like a sandbox environment where you can actually test whether certain feature is already working or not, whether there are some features or certain functionalities that we need to improve. Okay, so it says here it's perfect. I fixed the issues you've both identified. So it says here navigation but is now working, report creation, document summary, yada yada yada. So again, let's try to redeploy this again, but let me close this one first. Okay, as you can see the last deployment you have made. If you hover to this, you can see the date and the time that you have last redeployed the application or deployed it. Okay, so let's just wait. So it says here provision, build, bundle, and promote. So once you see all of these are green, which means that the Replit agent has successfully either deployed or redeployed your application. So it's now ready for testing. Okay, so let's just wait. Also, another factor you need to consider when you're using these types of applications is, of course, the type of device you're using and the internet connectivity as well. Okay, so, however, since this is a cloud-based, so it should work on certain environments, certain web applications, although usually I recommend using Google Chrome for these types of environments. And then also make sure that your internet connection is stable or your internet connectivity is working as expected and does not have any issues or any delays at all. So the thing is here is you can see it spinning, which means that it's working on either deploying or redeploying your application. Okay, so it says here it has successfully deployed the application. So it will show you this log that it has successfully deployed the application. Another thing I'm going to show you is you will also, each time that you deploy or redeploy an application, you automatically receive an email from the email that you have used to register on Replit. So you can click view applications. So let's just go back to the Replit agent and then let's just click this one again. Then let's try to cross our fingers and then let's try to upload the same file. Okay, so we no longer see any errors. Let's try to test and see if it works. Okay, so I've clicked this and then let's click the button. Okay, chat error. Okay, so let's try to inform. Okay, now I'm seeing this error. Okay. Okay, so let's try to type in, can you analyze the attached CSV and provide key insights of employee attrition? Okay, same thing. So let's try this also to see if it's already working. Okay, and then it's uploading, but this section, it should show your recent analysis. You can also do quick actions. So let's okay, so let's try to repeat that again. So okay, so every time you click actions, so I got another error when I test. It's giving me an error. Okay, so again, I'm not showing this on how to build a perfect application. I am showing these these scenarios as a demo that you might encounter, and something that we can all learn on our journey whenever we're trying to build something, whether it's a simple application or a more complex application as well. So you can see Replit is reviewing your message, and also the good thing about Replit is it can actually analyze images and screenshots, especially the error. You just have to make sure that each time you get an error, you need to make sure that the error message gets clearly captured on the screenshot. Okay, so let's just wait a little bit longer. Okay, it says you're thinking, pause. Says you're considering options. And then says you're determining the next step. It says here reviewing your message. So says here considering options. So let's just wait. It will just take a little bit longer. Okay, it's saying here determining the next step. It says you're thinking. Okay, so let's just wait and see what happens. Another thing, you will notice these logs. So it will show us the logs, like when was the last time that we deployed or redeployed the said application or the said project. It says you're considering options, determining next step. It says you're thinking, reviewing your message, considering options. Okay, so it says you're reviewing your message. So it's taking quite a bit longer. Also, let's try to explore some features that we're seeing right now. But you can see this, you can see edit commands and secrets. This is the page that we saw earlier. And then this is to have the security scanner as well. So we just wanted to make sure that the application we're trying to build and deploy is secure as well. Then going back now, this time earlier you saw that when we click this, there are no logs, but this time you're now seeing the logs. Okay, so as we can see, it's highlighted in red, which means that these are the logs where Replit identified that there's an issue. Earlier, if you remember, that we've encountered an error when we try to upload a CSV file. So these are some of the errors that it encountered. So that's where we can see the logs. And then we can also go back to like analytics, so we can see a dashboard when it's connected or failed. And then the resource utilization, like the CPU utilization, and then the settings. You can see the URL. So it's saying here that I can see two errors that are causing the issue. Failed to parse file content. This file parsing is failing. Second, fetch on window. API files for analyze is not valid HTTP method. There's an API routing issue. So let me fix both of these issues right now. So you have the option to open this code file. And this will show you the codes that it's using. Anyway, for developers or software engineers, the good thing about Replit is they have the ability to edit these codes. But of course, for us non-coders, we're not going to do anything. What's important is we were able to spot on the issue or the error and let the AI agent what it needs to fix, okay? So we're just here to also explore any of the additional features that we are seeing here. So it seems that it's highlighting in green, which means that it has identified what it has fixed. Okay, so it says here, perfect, I found the issue. The files are in the database, but the physical files are in the upload folder. So let me check if they exist elsewhere and fix the file path issue. It says here, improve file handling. And then it says here, let me quickly fix these import issues and get your CSV analysis working. So import, and then let's go to, you can click this database deployments, then preview. Okay, it's saying here, let me fix this quickly so your CSV can run. Okay, so it says here that I fixed the file upload and parsing system. The main issues were fix file storage system to properly save upload files, enhance CSV parsing with better error handling, added detailed logging to track analysis progress, fix the navigation button and report creation. Okay, so let's go ahead and redeploy this. So again, we just have to extend our patience and wait for a couple of minutes. So roughly could take about like 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, while waiting, let me just check something. Okay, so it says here it's already done in step 1 and 2. And then done with step 3, and then it says here it's saying here promote. Okay. It's saying a provision, build bundle, promote, so it's working on step 4. Okay, so whenever you see this spinning, which means that the AI agent is still working on either deploying or redeploying the application. And you can also, another indicator is that you can see this button, it shows running. Okay, so it says here it successfully redeployed the application. So you have the option to load the preview, or probably we'll just use click this again. Let me just make sure that I'm not using the wrong or the old version. So let me just click this again. Then let me just move my camera. Hopefully this works. Okay, so let's upload a CSV file. That's weird. So let's click upload and then let's try to test this. Okay, same error. So let's just I'm still getting the same error when I click the quick actions button. Now let me try to test this upload file. Okay, it's working, but let's see. So let's try this again. So it's giving us an error. Okay, so if you wanted to see Replit's message, you can also click this, or it says here, I fixed the API request issue that's causing the error. The problems with that request was being formatted. Fix the fetch request formatted for file analysis. So again, so this is when you expand this, you can see where the error is coming from. It's highlighted in red, so this is where the error log is. And then you can expand this. Let's say it says here, perfect, I fixed the CSV parsing. Okay, so let's redeploy this again and close this one. Okay, so you can see it's saying here your CSV analysis should now work. Can you try clicking Analyze Trend button again? It should now work properly. Analyze your HR employee attrition, data driven. So which means that it's actually seeing the actual file that we have uploaded. And then we can see these tags like advanced data visualization with interactive charts and graphs, real-time collaboration features for report editing, template library for common report types and presentations, emoji-based mood tracking for reports, interactive drag and drop dashboard builder, contextual AI assistant sidebar, gamified learning path for platform features, voice activated data exploration. Then again, going back to your email, each time that you deploy or redeploy your project or application, you automatically get an email notification. So you can also view your actual application by clicking View App. Okay, so again, it's still in step 4. So again, the purpose of this demo is not for us to show how you can build a perfect app the first time you use Replit or any other similar application, but to show you real world scenario examples and basic functionalities of Replit and its potential use cases and impact to your respective workflows. Okay, so it says here that um, it has already finished redeploying our application, so let's test this again. Okay, so let's try to upload file. So open. So it says here file uploaded successfully, and then let's try to click analyze, upload, then okay, as we can see, it's analyzing the uploaded data for trends. Okay, so let's just wait here. So which means that it's just taking a little bit longer. Let's try to explore the other functions. Okay, we click presentations, document summary, still in blank. This is something that you can fix later. As time goes by, this one it's already working because we tested this earlier. And then let's try to go back to dashboard and let's see what happens. So it uploaded the file successfully. Let's try to click generate report. Okay, so we're not getting an error this time, but it's still giving us the same. It says here, to provide meaningful analysis of trends and pattern, I would need access to your uploaded data sets. Okay, so this is something that you can resolve later. What's important is you're no longer seeing the error message. You just have to take note what the problem is. And if you have like a tracker, you can also upload any inefficiencies that you're identifying in the applications, and Replit can help you solve this. Okay, so anyway, we're going to stop here for now. So what's important is all of us learned the what Replit is, its basic functionalities, its real world use cases, actual scenarios that we might encounter whenever we are trying to build and deploy applications or even web apps using Replit. So if in case that you are in the process of, let's say, joining hackathons or okay, so it says here analysis complete. Okay, so as you can see here, this feature, it says here recent analysis, it was able to um, show us our recent uploads. And then you can analyze. Let's try to click this again. But anyway, as long as we are not seeing the error anymore, that's okay. We can actually go back and revert back to Replit to have this fixed. What's important is it's already accepting the file upload, so you can explore these features. Okay, so again, going back, so if you're in the process of, let's say, joining a hackathon or a certain AI certification, so I would say good luck and enjoy learning. So we're going to end this demo for now. And that's all. Thank you so much.